Welcome back to another weekly wrap up by Connected Travel. Wow, so much happens in a week. Let me start with the borders. Earlier this year, after lockdown number 1, you probably saw something like this floating around. Now, there's a new one that's just been released on the 20th of September, and yes, it looks like great news. Remember, it's just a proposal. Now, they've put this updated proposal in place and they're lobbying to the government and health authorities, saying that these are realistic goals for us. As we already know, things can move really quickly around here and sometimes ahead of schedule. This is what I mean by ahead of schedule. Singapore are actually opening their borders to Australians as of the 8th of October, with the exception of Victoria. It doesn't mean us Australians can freely just travel to Singapore. It's not that straightforward. Firstly, you need to apply to the government to get approval to leave Australia. Then you need an air travel pass for your entry into Singapore. Then your arrival into Singapore, you're going to have to fork out 300 Singapore dollars per person to get a COVID test. After that, you have to go to a hotel for 2 days and wait for the results of your COVID test. Upon your arrival back in Australia, you have to quarantine for 14 days in a hotel, and that's costing anywhere from $3,000 plus per person. An Australian island has opened today, which is Lord Howe Island. Now, Lord Howe Island is a tiny island off the coast of Port Macquarie. You've got your sandy beaches mixed with your forests. You've got Ned Beach up north, which has calm waters, fish and coral reef, great for snorkeling. Now, the island is actually home to the masked boobies. Yes, the masked boobies. Don't get too excited, it's just a bird. Plus, the boobie is masked. I was looking at the travel trends in China, who are now enjoying traveling around their own country. Now, if their trends are anything to go by, we have some great news. Domestic airfares over there are at a 5-year low. So if that trend follows in Australia, we're going to have some awesome, very cheap domestic airfares. And just to show you that this is likely to happen here, last week when the New South Wales and the South Australia borders opened to each other, Jetstar had such a cheap sail on to celebrate that their website crashed. Now, what's happening with the cruise lines? P&O's Pacific Dawn, they've just sold their ship. Now, this is going to affect those who have cruises on the Pacific Dawn from the 17th of December onwards. Now, a hint, if you're relying on a refund, do not accept a credit. Once you accept that credit, it's very hard to then say, no, I want a refund instead. On a more positive note, P&O are bringing on board the Pacific Adventurer, which is going to be the biggest and the newest ship in their fleet. Now, with all the flash sales that are going on, which are insane, I've actually sold some cabins on the P&O Adventurer for next year. 10-day Great Barrier Reef cruise, cabin of 4 costs $2,216 for 4 people for 10 days. That's in an interior cabin. If you calculate that down, that's $55.40 per day. Now, that's already including your 3 meals, so that's already paid itself off. My grocery shopping can be more expensive than that. Now, if you want to be in the loop for the flash sales, please send me your email address and I will notify you straight away when there's a flash sale and you can lock one in too. Now, I know some of you are worried about traveling and the health and safety of traveling, but let me tell you, with all the new technology that is coming out, it's going to be the safest, cleanest and healthiest it's ever been. The technology that they're bringing out is like something from the Jetsons. Even better. Beijing have biometric boarding. So from check-in to your baggage drop to security clearance and then to your final boarding, you just have to walk through a designated lane and it recognizes your face all along. You don't have to touch anything. In Singapore, contactless check-in. So the screens in Singapore to check in at the airport have sensors and can all sense your finger movement. Just like this. You don't even have to touch the screen. Abu Dhabi have contactless elevators, which are controlled by gesture. Dutch hotel chain has created an app you download before your stay. You can check in and check out on the app, but not only can you do that, you can control the lights, you can control the blinds, you can control the temperature inside your room. Hong Kong, they've got robots going around the airport disinfecting public areas and passenger facilities, and these robots can sanitize an area in 10 minutes, and they claim it's 99.99% effective. Now, ending with a Friday funny, like every week, a Japan airline is actually trialing out a hands-free toilet door, and do you know what they've called it? I'm hoping it's just temporary. The elbow doorknob. The elbow doorknob. Anyway, have a great week, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye.